take questions, just raise your hand.
Sure. I said to the team in the locker room, like, I prefer it, or I like it when it's pretty, but I really, really respect it when it's gritty. And we have so much respect for this program. They hadn't lost at home all year. Scott's as good as it gets, and I said to him before the game, like they were picked 10th and we were picked 6th, and we had a really meaningful game here on a Sunday afternoon. And our kids had to scrap and fight. So super proud of the effort. I think Rayah likes it up here. She had an incredible game last year, and she was an absolute monster. I thought the game plan change with Reagan being out, which obviously I wish her a really speedy recovery. Love her as a fan. Hard to play against her as an opponent, so we want her to get well, but it changes the game plan, and someone asked me before, can Rayah play perimeter defense? I'm like, she sure can. And I thought she took that challenge. And I'll just say this, because I know you're going to ask about you, right? We have the highest plus minus with her. She had a rough shooting night. Her teammates had her back. She still went to the boards. She still makes winning plays. And if we can win, when she's not at her best from scoring the ball, I think it says a lot about our team. And I think we're going to remember this win as a really good one. Yeah, Fred.
Rayah, just what Coach said, piggyback on that a little bit. It was not the best shooting game for Juju, yet you were in control the whole game. What does that say about USC and the depth that you have?
One thing about that, Coach Lindsay mentioned in the locker room, Juju's a competitor. She still brings so much energy, whether she's scoring or not, because when you see out there, she's still going to play defensively, and she's a great teammate. And also for us, this game was, like Coach Lindsay said, it was very meaningful, and we wanted to come out here and get a sweep. That was our goal before we even stepped on our bus to even get on the fight here, and we just executed that.
It was really loud in there. Were you aware of the environment? Do you like playing in that environment, even though you are the road team?
It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, if you got SC across your chest, then I'm tuned in with you, and if not, I'm kind of just Xing you out.
Thomas.
This program has all the momentum in the world, Oregon State did. What goes into slowing them down on their home court?
I think the first thing was the mentality, right? Like our players have really tried to buy into, they have bought into, that in February teams elevate or they kind of fall apart or take steps. Like we've been taking steps in the right direction. It wasn't hard to get us up for such a big game because Oregon State was literally the hottest team, in the conference, maybe the country. So we loved the challenges, and we knew there was a chance to do something special. In terms of the actual game plan of it, you just can't let them. You have to come in, we said, with a plan. Otherwise, meaning Scott, the team will slice you apart. But you also have to play to your strengths. Like I kept saying, be juicy, be athletic, bother them. Like we have some things that if we have a plan and we're high energy, I think that can be disruptive to people. I was really proud of our defense. I thought our defense was great. And if we make some more shots, maybe there's even more separation. But that happens sometimes. And for us to get the win, regardless of the off shooting night, I think says a lot. Trevor.
This team's obviously, they've been so good at the three-point shot and very deep in that regard. I think they made like 3 or 4 on the day. So what was the key for you guys in that regard and preventing them from killing you from deep like they have to a lot of teams this year?
Yeah, I mean, we watched, obviously, our first round against them, we gave up 32 threes. I thought it was too much. We still wanted to put some aggression on the ball screens, which can cause rotation. So we talked about really being locked in. Like, we can still put the aggression on the ball screen, but we have to be faster in rotations. Then I talked about, if I really analyze them, their hot streak, I think, has a lot to do with a lot, but Gardner's ability to shoot the 3 has just punished teams. So she's been shooting 60% from 3. And so, she ended up 2 for 5. If you lose her for a second, but we talked about doing some switching on her to keep her from getting open 3s. And then we didn't expect her necessarily to be the 5. So now all of a sudden Rayah is involved in that switching our guards, and I thought that's where we did a really good job of kind of altering the game plan a little bit with their injury situation, and we really want to key in on the 3-point line and rely on our 2-on-2 defenders in the ball screen a little more, so then you have rim protection from Rayah and people guarding on the perimeter as well in those situations.
Thomas.
Rayah, how important was it to see those first couple points go through the net when you're trying to build momentum against a team like Oregon State?
It was a great feeling, actually. I just feel like as an athlete, when you're out there on the court and you see the ball going through the net like that, especially when you have a lead on a great team at home, it brought us a ton of momentum.
Lindsay.
It feels like Mackenzie had more than 13 points, especially you point out, Ju had an off game and she still had a double-double. But with Mackenzie, how important is that she can step up and hit, like, she had some really clutch shots with hands in her face.
For sure, that's what she's done for us. There was one point, I think it took her out for a minute, or a minute or two, and we got some stuff. She came right back in and I think hit a pull-up and then a three. But we've seen it before, you know, like she's just a big shot maker. I think she's really calm. She's like another coach on the floor. She can pick apart some mismatches, and she's just unafraid, right? Like she's unafraid to take a big shot, you know, no matter if the one before is gone in or not. So I thought that secondary scoring was big. Obviously, I thought Rayah was tremendous. Big offensive rebounds, finishes, patrolled the defensive, you know, everything, paint, perimeter. And then I thought we got a lot of contributions from everywhere. There's no one else with like a huge stat line coming out, but KP, Padilla hitting a couple big ones when they're really focused on Jew. Caitlin Davis, I thought when they went small, kind of punished their smaller lineup a couple times, then she got some foul trouble, so it was a little bit by committee there, but I thought Kenzie's last two buckets were huge.
And then with Jew, can you talk about the defensive effort that Tony Hoffen had on her? Like,
Yeah.
really seemed to sell out, and Jew gets that every night, you know, from
She
everyone,
does.
but still.
I mean, I thought Scott's a great game planner. Their players buy into it. They tried to, you know, kind of push her off her spots. She likes to, you know, she can fight to get to her spots. You know, she sees all kinds of different things, and this one was a lot of sort of pack line, you know, not let her get all the way to the basket. And I do think she made good reads. She sprayed it at times when she needed to, but it's not like everyone else was wide open either. That's what makes it such a good defensive effort. And then she just, you know, she missed some that we know she's capable of making. And my conversation with her, and like these guys know, she does so much good for us, and we have a ton of belief in her. So I'm not gonna say, oh, well, now you've missed 8, you know, take it out or stop being you. I'm gonna say keep being you. We all feel like if she misses 5, the next 5 are going in, but also just finding ways to break down the defense in other ways. And she got no boards and got out in transition and, you know, hit a couple big ones when she needed to.
Also, if I can add to that, I feel like sometimes we forget this is a freshman we're talking about. So, I mean, it's a lot on her. And she came out there, she actually got up a ton of shots. She doesn't avoid contact. So I just feel like it was just, she just had a tough shooting night for herself. But she's, like Coach Lindsay said, she dominates both ends of the floor.
She is, you know, a freshman who could like start for like 3 WNBA.
No, we would not disagree.
Thomas, last question.